waste the time, I am going to start this session. First of all, first and foremost, I just want to discuss these points in my today's session. I am not able to change my slide, ma'am. I don't know why. So these are the topics which I am going to discuss in today's session. First of all, I will discuss what is research and why anybody is doing the research. Then I would like to discuss the data analysis and data analysis process together. Further, in my sessions, you people will try to learn what are the different type of analytical techniques under qualitative and quantitative area. And then further, I will discuss the different type of data analysis and what are the different tools which are supporting the data analysis. So as everybody knows, what is research? So I would like to discuss here in terms of the research, a careful investigation for the new facts in any branch of knowledge. So many people are basically thinking about this, why any researcher or why any individual they are going to carry out the research. Definitely, it is the purpose. Some people are doing research just to find out the solution of the existing problems. Some people are doing the research just to fill the gap, something which is existing and something which they are trying to achieve in terms of the future. So just to fill that gap, the researcher, they are going to carry out the research. Another definition, which is given by Redman and Mori, research is a systematic effort to gain new knowledge.
Voice slow kar do. Slow kar do. Echo ho raha
Dr. Renu, my slides are visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is another definition which was given by Dr. Mori. It is nothing, but it is a systematic effort. So in terms of the research, everybody wants to do research in a proper planning, in a proper systematic manner. So one has to basically should have the knowledge how the research is basically conducted. So in this particular research methodology orientation program, me and other speakers, they will highlight these points in different sessions. Now, another definition which is given by Clifford, it is a defining and redefining the problems, formulating the hypothesis and objective. So whenever we are finding there is a problem, it could be related to the production. There are a lot of defects in the production department. Problem could be with respect to the customer. The customers are not satisfied. Problem could be in terms of how they are going to capture the customers, how they are going to retain the customers. Problem could be in any particular domain or in any particular field. So they are trying to consider the problem and further in better way, in better understanding form, they are redefining the problem. So according to the problem, they are formulating the hypothesis. So in research, every researcher is supposed to, you can say, jot down the questions, objectives, and then as against of those objectives and questions, the hypothesis is going to be framed. So this is the first thing which is there in the research. Then according to the hypothesis, according to the objectives, they are going to collect the data. Meaning there are different sources of data, there are basically sources which are considered as a primary sources of data or secondary sources of data. So one has to collect the data as per the objective, as per the defined, you can say, research design. So they are going to collect the data. After collecting the data is going to be organized. Raw data is in some form and we have to make in a particular format so that we can do the analysis and we are going to evaluate that data. We will come out with some findings, conclusion based on that analysis. So this is the thing which is defined by the Clifford Woody. And finally, they are going to determine whatever we have framed in the hypothesis, whether it is coming true or not, and how we are going to generalize the findings in terms of the objective. So these are the different steps which are going to be followed in the research. Now, why we do the research or researchers are going to do the research? There are few more definitions, there are few more things which are coming in this context. First and foremost, people are doing research to find out the benefits. So whenever they are doing the research, it should solve the problem it should give some sort of benefit to the society or to the community. So there should be some objective, some goal behind this. Some people are doing research in terms of solving the problem. Some are doing just to get an intellectual joy, like in case of academics. So in case of academics or academician, they are doing research just to get the credentials in their own fraternity. So that is also one motive of doing the research. But that is not the actual experimental research, that is applied research. Another point is just to get the respect in the society. When somebody is saying that this person has got so many publications, so many, you can say projects, so many research work, so many patents that person is having on his or her account. So it gives a sense of respect. Another point is this, some people are doing research as per the directive of government, because there are different policies, there are different systems, there are different things which are announced by the government. So for that, one has to carry out the research. Another thing is employment. So some people are making career in the research field, and that is why they are carrying out the research. So these are the different motives because of which anybody is doing the research. Now, why do research? Again, few more things we can consider. First of all, validate the intuition. So researcher, they have some intuition in their mind and they want to validate. Okay, the customers are not sticking with our company. So what is the reason? So they have some reasons, they have some, you can say justification, they validate all those reasons of customer, you can say not able to retain, and they are switching from one particular company to another company. So they want to validate their intuition, their justification, their logics with the help of research. Second point is improvement in terms of the method. So suppose one company, they are doing the production by X method using, you can say, continuous production system. It is not giving the result. So they want to go for better method. So for that, they have to do the research. So how they will carry out the research? They will collect the data of the existing process, find out the loopholes, find out the shortcomings, and based on that, they come out with some analysis, some justification ki okay, continuous method is not good for the production system. They can go for cellular kind of manufacturing system, CAD-CAM manufacturing system. So that is another point. That is why people are carrying out the research. Next thing is demand of the job. So when we talk about companies are coming with the new product launch, new services are going to be launched. For that, they have to carry out the research. So it is basically demand. So demand of the job, R&D department, experiments are going to be conducted, and for that, they are doing the research. Another point which we can consider is for publication and patent. So once any individual, they are doing the research, then only they are in a position to come out with the patents or new publications. So these are the different reasons, these are the different objectives behind carrying out any type of research. Then researchers is basically what they are doing. They are initiating the research, starting with the problem, data collection, and then analysis, and finding out those, based on those analysis, they come out with the proper, you can say, outcome. So I will discuss what are the different analysis process which are used in the research in the upcoming slides. So why do we analyze the data? So basically, every businesses, they basically faces a lot of problems. And similarly, not only the businesses, other community, other, you can say, entity of the society or the, you can say, environment, they are facing a lot of problems, lot of issues. Like nowadays, people are facing problem in terms of climate, in terms of sustainability. So they start the research from any particular issue and any particular problem, and then accordingly, they are going to consider the data. So research analysis is going to give them, you can say, a proper roadmap, and based on that roadmap, they are going to take the informed decision, better decision, which will be foolproof, meaning there will be very less chances of having any defect, any problem later on if one is taking the decision based on the analysis. So there are many ways that way the data can be utilized. at all companies level of companies operations. Now, as you know, I have already discussed what are the different processes in the data analysis. First of all, the data, raw data, then it is going to be cleaned, missing data, all these things are going to be carried out. So if our data is not of proper shape, we will not be able to analyze. So the raw data is going to be converted into coded data, or you can say outlier or the missing informations are going to be removed. And then on that particular data set, people are going to apply the analysis or analytical tools. So this is the way they are going to do the data analysis. And they are going to answer different questions which are with respect to the hypothesis or some theories. Now, further, if we see in terms of the data analysis, there are something which is basically considered, you can say, different steps or different stages which we use in the data analysis process. So first and foremost, a person, researcher, they are going to describe or summarize the data, first of all, whether it is qualitative or quantitative. Then after summarizing, I will discuss what comes under the descriptive or summarizing the data little later. And then after that, the researcher, they are trying to find out the relationship. You know, in any particular problem, in any particular data set, there are many variables. So people are trying to find out the relationship. With the help of the relationship, they come to the conclusion. Y is equal to A plus B1, X1 plus B2, X2. So they are going to find out the relationship. And with the help of that, you can say equation, we are going to find out, okay, this is the thing which is affecting the final outcome. Similarly, they are going to compare the variables. What is the situation in India versus China? What is the situation in case of India versus USA? So the variables, the population considered as India as against of this China. So they compare the situation with respect to that variables. Then they are trying to find out the differences also. And finally, they are going to forecast the outcome. So these are the different steps which are involved in the data analysis process. A very, very famous story, everybody might have heard or might have, or you can see, gone through this story, which is related to the elephant. And, you know, it is very much clear. It is totally depending upon the person who is basically seeing the whole data set. From one person to another person, the same situation will give the different answer. So the same story is basically highlighted here with the help of elephant, blind man and elephant. This is a very famous Indian fable, which is talking about 6 blind men story. So they observe the elephant. One feels the sight and thinks the elephant is like a wall. Another person feels the tusk and thinking that elephant is like a spear. Third person touches the squirming trunk and thinks the elephant is like a snake. So whosoever is touching which the body part, and accordingly he's making a perception in his mind or her mind, this is the thing which is there in front of him. Another person is going to feel the knee and thinking that elephant is like a tree. Then another person touching the ear, thinking the elephant is like a fan. So whosoever is touching whatever the body part, accordingly the perception, accordingly the thinking is developed in his or her mind. So they argue long and loud, and though each was partly right, so all were not in the wrong way. So this is the story which is telling ki individual to individual, the answers, the outcome may vary after analysis, after justification. One sees ki okay, this is increasing, another person will say no, it is more or less same, not increasing, not decreasing. So the thing is that ki who is visualizing the data in what way. Next point I would like to discuss, what is the thing which comes under the qualitative analysis and later on the quantitative analysis. So qualitative, as you people know, qualitative is nothing but the subjective. We deal with the, you can say, transcript, text, notes, video, audio, all these things are nothing but the part of qualitative data. So in terms of the qualitative analysis, people are going to do a lot of analysis. First and foremost, they are carrying out the content analysis. What is there in the content analysis? So content analysis is related to the categorizing verbal or behavioral data. So there are different software with the help of which any researcher, they are going to do the content analysis. So NVivo is there. And similarly, other software with the help of which people are going to do the qualitative analysis. They are going to summarize the data, classify the data, and finally the tabulation is going to be happen. Second part is narrative analysis. So in case of narrative analysis, this method is involving reformulation of the story, which are going to be presented by the respondent, taking into account the context of each case. So they are going to narrate the story. Ki, okay, I went there and I saw this, and based on that, this is my outcome. This is my, you can say, understanding. So many times you might have seen the research starts from the storytelling, narrating the things, whatever you have visualized, whatever you have observed in a particular scenario. Third point is discourse analysis. So in case of discourse analysis, they are going to carry out the naturally occurring talk and all types of written text. So if I am talking to you, somebody can do this analysis based on this talking, based on this session. This is the viewpoint, this is the understanding. So this is a kind of qualitative, another portion of qualitative analysis. Fourth component of qualitative analysis is framework analysis, which is nothing, but it is basically advanced method and having several stages. So one should be, first of all, they are going to carry out the familiarization with the data, thematic framework they are going to develop, and then coding. I hope everybody knows how to do the coding. So coding is nothing, but suppose you have the data of different region, north, west, south, east. So one can decide, we will give code number 1 to north, code number 2 to south, code number 3 to west. So likewise, codification is done. So against each variable, the researcher is going to decide a schema for codification. Then the charting is going to be happen. So they are going to develop different type of charts. So with the help of charts, with the help of visualization tool, they come out with the kind of understanding. Ki, okay, this is the thing which is happening in this manner. There is a upward trend, there is a downward trend, there is no relationship. Something is going to be, you can say, come out with that kind of outcome. Then mapping. So in case of mapping, people are going to map it out. Ki, okay, if you are planning to sell some item, some product in South, what kind of flavor, what kind of taste, what kind of preferences will be there in the southern region or southern population. So they are going to map it out based on the data. Similarly, in case of HR, people are doing the competency mapping. Okay, so if a person is working in case of, you can say, marketing department, the skill set, the knowledge, what type of knowledge, what type of skill set is required. The person should be extrovert. The person should be good in terms of communication and presentation. So they are going to map it out. So this is another part of framework analysis. And finally, the interpretation of all the data analysis they are going to carry out. Because analysis, the software can do. But the main thing, what comes into the picture, that is the interpretation. How you are going to conclude the things. That is very, very important. Next portion of qualitative analysis is grounded theory. So this method of qualitative analysis start with what? Single case to formulate a theory. So they formulate a theory based on the cases. Case to case situation varies. In case of medicine, if you see, the case is of Down syndrome, the case is of autism, the case is of dyslexia. So they are going to make a theory around that cases. So they are going to formulate a theory behind that particular case situations. So these are the few tools which are coming under what? Qualitative analysis. Now, quantitative analysis. So it is basically based on the number. So quantitative analysis, lot of things one can do. So basically, I have just quoted one example. Suppose one questionnaire which is talking about impact of informal management employee communication on the level of employee motivation, which is a case study of Agro Bravo Enterprise. So majority of the respondents, like 52% after research, after data analysis, data collection, they come to know, assess the communication skills of their immediate supervisor. So basically, specific piece of primary data finding needs to be critically analyzed in terms of quantitative. So you are having the picture and you are having the information, which is nothing but in terms of the number, 52%. Similarly, they are going to consider yes, objectively, how they are going to interpret, interpretation is going to be done, comparison is going to be done, and then they are going to come out with what type of the leadership style, level of the frequency in terms of management employee communications through this kind of data analysis. So quantitative analysis is much more frequently used, but see, in case of social science, in case of political science, people are going for what qualitative type of analysis, but as against of other this production, marketing, finance, there people are using quantitative analysis because things are there in terms of the numbers. Now, I would like to discuss what are the different type of data analysis which one can use in the research. So broadly, you can see there are four type of data analysis. One is descriptive, second diagnostic, third one is predictive, and fourth one is prescriptive analysis. So I will take one by one in my session. And if you people want, I can show you this particular thing with the help of the Excel also. So first is descriptive. So as the word suggests, descriptive analysis. Descriptive is nothing, but it is based on the past data, historical data. So you have the 5 years financial reports, you have 5 years of sales data, you have 5 years of customer data, you have 5 years of other, you can say research data in terms of the political situation, how the interest rate is going on. So you have the data of so and so number of years. And then based on that, you are going to come out with some sort of analysis, which is nothing but in the form of what? Describing the data set, what type of data it is, what it is talking about. So in business, people are taking into consideration different KPIs, key performance indicators. In terms of the KPI, we can see KPI varies from domain to domain. So first KPI, suppose in HR, how much productivity an individual is doing. So turnover per employee or revenue per employee, productivity output per employee, and income per employee, leave taken per employee. So certain KPIs are going to be taken in terms of the different domain. So I have written here few applications of descriptive analysis. One is KPI dashboards. Dashboards are created. With the help of dashboards, one can see everything in one glance. Okay, one chart is talking about sales, another chart is talking about production, third chart is talking about the customer. So so many things are there on one particular dashboard. You can come to know what is happening. Similarly, another analysis, basically a descriptive analysis used in case of revenue. Similarly, sales related kind of situation. Now, what are the things which are covered under the descriptive analysis? So one has basically considering, first of all, you should be well versed about the type of data. So there are different types of the data. Maybe you can say quantitative data, which are basically in numbers. It can be continuous, it can be discrete. Second category of the data is categorical. Categorical meaning labels, male, female, south, west, east, or north. Labels are there. Categorical nature, liking, disliking, good, bad, categorical. Similarly, cross-sectional data and time series data. Cross-sectional data is nothing but that data which is basically captured for, you can say in one particular year for different variables. And time series data for basically talking about the different years from, or you can say different months in one year, January to December, right? So this is time series data. So according to the data, the analysis is basically happening. So I will discuss in the future after some slides what type of analysis can be done. Another thing which comes under the descriptive analysis is modifying the data. So if you have the data set of 1,000, 1 lakh points, then you cannot do analysis without doing some sort of, you can say, manipulation kind of thing. So you have to carry out the data modification part with the help of what? Either you are going to sort it out. With the help of sorting, you come to know which one is the maximum, which one, and descending order, ascending order, sorting by name, anything you can do. Filtering the data, with the help of filter, you will come to know, okay, where is the maximum, where we have to focus, where we are going to put our maximum concentration. Then formatting, conditional formatting, you can consider key, yes, how many are coming above this, how many are coming lesser than this, how many are coming at par. So these are the part and parcel of the conditional formatting. Then next thing which comes under the descriptive analysis, that is distributions. So on the data set, people are going to create different type of distribution. In the coming session, you people will understand like there are normal distribution, there are binomial distribution, there are geometrical distribution, there are Poisson distribution. So according to the distribution, analysis is going to be done, and they are going to create the frequency charts and histograms, with the help of which one will come to know how the things are moving. What is the thing which is happening in this particular company data set? Then another point which comes under the descriptive analysis is location. So you can find out where the maximum points are located with the help of these averages, whether it is mean or median or mode. So you come to know how the things are, like average salary, median salary, or you can say average in height, average weight. So anything you can consider in terms of the mean, median, and mode. So there are situations, something which you cannot highlight with the help of mean, median can be going to portray better picture. Similarly, the mode. Next point which we consider under the descriptive analysis is variability. So once we have taken into the data set, we want to know what is the range, what is the spread of that data set. So with the help of, you can say range, variances, coefficient of variation, and standard deviation, one can easily capture the variability in the data set, highest to lowest, where how much, what is the thing which is basically happening in this particular data set. Like for example, with the help of variability, we can come to know what is the tolerance level. So these things are possible in terms of the variability. Next is distribution. So once we are going to develop the distribution, we can analyze with the help of these measurements, whether it is in the form of percentile, quartile, z-score, or outlier we are going to find out, so that we will come to know ki, okay, this is going to disrupt our data set, and we are going to, you can say, develop the box plot chart also. Next point, which we can consider, that is measures of association between the two variables, like correlation, how the things are basically behaving, reacting, x versus y, or x1 versus x2 variable. Like for example, if we are saying we want to increase the sales, so sales is dependent on what? Advertisement expenses. Sales is dependent upon what? Purchasing power of the individual. So x1, x2 can be your advertisement, x2 could be purchasing power of the individual, and y is the turnover. So we can find out the relationship between what? Y versus x1 or x1 versus x2, and then we can come out with some, you can say, conclusion or outcome. Dr. Renu, can I show some Excel sheet right now just to stop sharing up the slide for a while?
Okay, ma'am. Definitely, you can show the Excel sheet also.
Okay. Can everybody see my Excel sheet? Hello? Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I was talking about the sorting figure and filtering. So suppose if you have the data set like this, the name of the students are here, subject, and then marks, CGPA. So we can carry out these many things in the same data set. sort data as per the CGPA in descending order. So if you people want, I can show you. If suppose we have the data, second thing which we can do in this data set is as per the name, multiple column sorting. And similarly, we can find out, we can, you can say, work upon this data as a part of what? Filter. Filtering the data set in terms of CGPA. CGPA meaning greater than or equal to 4 CGPA, how many are coming in this? So suppose I want to apply first thing, which is basically talking about sorting filter as per the CGPA. So how we will do? We will just select the data range, then go for sort, and then we will use CGPA, right? And then we will take largest to smallest. So it will come like this. Everybody has seen what I have done?
Yes, ma'am, it
Hello?
is same.
Okay. Next point is talking about sorting the data as per the name. So we can again go for this sorting function, and then we will take the name into consideration. And then if we want Z to A or A to Z as per the choice, we will take into consideration. It has been sorted the name as per the our decision or our action, right? Now, third point is written here, filtering. How we can filter the CGPA, which is talking about greater than or equal to CGPA 4. So what we will do, we will just go for data option here and then go for a filter. Filter option is visible here. This is filter. And then we will just apply the filter option here. Just a minute. Now we will take into consideration number filters, and so many conditions are visible here. Can everybody see? Equal to, does not equal, greater than, or equal to. So we want to see. Chetna Yadav, you have raised your hand. Yes, please, Chetna.
Ma'am, they are not able to now write the message. They can write in the chat box and you can give the answer after the session.
Okay. So greater than or equal to, we will write here. Suppose we are looking forward 4. So I will just type 4 point and then okay. So this is showing the data which is having greater than or equal to 4 CGPA. So this is a small data set which I have taken into consideration just to highlight how the sort function and how the filtering function is happening, right? Another point which I have discussed in my PPT, descriptive analysis. So for that, I would like to share this data, which is about one particular company, Corzo and Son Tracking Company, which is delivering freight in and about the humid city. So this is the thing which is given. Freight is given for 24 days. So number of tons of freight Corzo and Son has delivered in the past 24 days is shown here in the table. This is the data set. I think everybody can see. Dr. Renu, please, you just say if I'm asking something.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It is definitely full clear. It's clear, ma'am. Totally. No
Okay.
problem. Everything we can understand totally.
Okay, thank you. So this is the data which we have. Now we can do anything in terms of the descriptive thing. So something which I have already done, I can show you. See, this is the thing which I want. So first of all, we are going to apply the descriptive analysis. So how we are going to apply? Under the data option, there is a data analysis tool pack. So I just want to highlight here. See, for getting the data analysis tool pack, you have to customize your Excel. So you have to, this is the Excel add-in. So you have to download this Excel, or you have to get this add-in through, you can say, customization option. This is nothing but the Excel add-ins. So it is showing data analysis tool. So these are the options which one can do. A lot of things are there one can apply to this data analysis tool pack, right? So first of all, I just want ki yes, how we can do the descriptive analysis, which is already inbuilt in this. We need not to do this descriptive statistics. So we will just click this option, okay, and then we will go for this, okay. Now it is asking the input range. where our data lies. So I will just select my input range from this to this. So it has been selected here under this input range option. Then I have taken label, meaning freight, in the first row. So I have just picked in this checkbox. Then where I want my output. Suppose I want output here. I will just click it here, right? And then I am pressing OK. Okay. Statistical option. Why it is not showing? I just want here. And now I want summary statistics. I want confidence level 95%. And if I want kth largest and kth smallest, then I'm just clicking OK. So it is showing here. Can everybody see this? It is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
So automatically all these things will come in one click. It is a part of descriptive statistics. It is showing mean. It is showing standard error of the data set. It is showing median. It is showing mode, standard deviation, sample, kurtosis, which is nothing, but it is showing what type of shape of the curve is. Skewness, whether our distribution is left skewed, right skewed, or symmetrical. Range, medium, minimum, maximum, everything we will get to know in one click, right? So this is the thing which we can get from here. Similarly, we can find out these, you can say measurements, population variance, right? Or you can say population standard deviation. So if I want, what is the population standard deviation, how I will get it? I will just go into that, insert, here formulas, more functions. Then I think whatever I'm doing, is it visible? Everybody is following it?
Yes, ma'am. It is clear, totally clear.
Okay. Under this statistical function, I will just click. These are the, you can say inbuilt thing. If I want something else, so I will just go for more functions. And then from here, I will just click, select population variance if it is here. So student, you can do lot many things in terms of statistics. This is average deviation. We want this statistical insert function. Hello. Z test. This, all these things are possible. Variance, right? I can click this. So where my data set is, I will just go and select that data set from this particular column. This is my data set on which I want variance, right? And then OK. It is showing the variance. Can you see?
Yes, ma'am. I think all the students also, all the participants see this.
Yeah. So
This
this way, yeah, this way we can find out anything. Population variance, population standard deviation, mean absolute, coefficient of variation, which is nothing but sigma upon x bar, interquartile range, which is first quartile and third quartile difference. Similarly, 5-point summary, which is talking about how the things are working here. What is the smallest value? What is the first quartile? How we will find out the first quartile? For that, you have to type quartile. the function which is quartile function, and then it is showing array. So our array is this. This is our data set. We will select this data set. And then if we want first quartile, we will just select, these are the options which are coming: first, median, third, maximum. So our option is go for first quartile. We will select here first quartile and enter. So it is showing Q1. This is nothing but the Q1. I hope everybody understood. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is the way we can find out through Excel lot many things. So it is describing the data. What is the purpose of describing the data? We come to know that yes, in this data set, this is the mean, this is the median, this is the standard error, this is the coefficient of variation and skewness. So we can easily elaborate the picture of this data set. See how good it is, what is the situation, what is the skewness coming, which is useful for doing the other type of analysis. So here I have taken the percentile and this thing. This diagram is showing what? Percentile. So this is also possible through this data set. Okay, this is the box plot chart. Can you see? This diagram is showing the box plot chart. So it is showing the upper value, lower value, in between Q1, maximum, minimum, Q1, Q2, and this is the median value. So it is showing there is no outlier. Another point which we can do with the help of this same data set, what is the association between the two variables. Suppose we have the information like this: Frozen and Sun Truck Company, they are feeling that there is a relationship between the maintenance cost for trucks and the number of delivery stops trucks make. So they have compiled this information about the maintenance cost and number of stops. A truck is basically made for 12 trucks. So this is the number of stop, this is the maintenance cost given data. Now on this data set, we can find out the covariance, we can easily calculate the correlation. How we can do? Very simple. You just write down covariance, right? Covariance function. So this is basically showing, asking array 1, array 2, we will select. I hope everybody understanding what I am doing. Hello?
Yes, ma'am. It is, I think all in the chat box, everyone said yes, ma'am. It is clear and it's understanding also. You
So
are
this is
explaining so good way.
okay, thank you. So this is the covariance value which has come for this data set, right? And this diagram is a scatter diagram. If you want, I can show you how the scatter diagram can be basically plotted. So if I am just removing it, I will just draw in front of you. So suppose we will go to the insert option and then we will select the data, insert, and there are different charts option here. If we want scatter diagram, we will put it here like this. It is coming the scatter diagram, right? So
Right.
what basically we are getting here on this axis, the maintenance cost, and this is what our number of stops. We can just do lot of, you can say axis title if we want, it will come. We want data labels, it will show data labels. So everything, whatever we want, we can just put it here, and we can highlight the axis title also, what we want on the, basically going to highlight here in the form of x-axis. This is number of stops. So one can do a lot of things. So descriptive analysis itself is going to give you so many things on the data set. This is what maintenance cost. Right? And this is the chart title. So here the relationship. We can just write down whatever we want in terms of the chart title. Relationship between maintenance and stops. So I hope it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Similarly, one can easily find out the correlation. So in this, correlation is coming 0.85. So if you know about something about the statistics, if a correlation value is coming more than 0.5, it is high degree of correlation. So it is 0.85, which is showing very, very high. So we can easily find out anything which is basically talking about the association, how things are related to each other. So number of stop versus the maintenance cost is highly related to each other. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Correlation.
Okay. Now I'm sharing my PPT. I hope it is clear till this point.
Yes.
Okay. So I was talking about the descriptive analysis. So all these things we can easily do with the help of Excel. And if you have SPSS, with the help of SPSS also one can apply all these things using SPSS software or Statistica software, anything like any software. I basically can give you answers related to this, ki what type of data we have, how the data is basically working, looking like if we are going to apply the sort function, filtering function. Somebody wants ki what is the sale of the north region. If you have the sales data of different region, so you apply the filter and then apply the subtotal function. You will come to know the sales of the northern region, sales of the eastern region, or if you have the sales data by as per the salesman, you can apply filtering, or one can apply the pivot table also. So all these things are basically possible if you are going to use something on the data set. It is nothing but it is a part of the quantitative analysis, descriptive analysis. Then comes the diagnostic analysis. Very, very important. So you have the data set. In every research, people are going to collect the data. Primary data, as you know, it is as per the choice of the researcher. So they collect the data. My objective is I want to see the efficacy of so and so drug on the that type of population, northern population, or school going children, or working adults. So that is basically nothing but it is a part of primary data. Secondary data is what? The data which is already existing, that you are collecting for your research purpose. So what generally researcher they are doing, first of all, they are doing and finding out the information through the secondary data, through literature survey. So they do lot of surfing of the literature, existing literature, and find out what is already existing. So through the, you can say journals, through the proceedings, through the website, they collect a lot of data. And through that, they come to know that this is the thing which is missing. And based on that, they frame their hypothesis, they frame their objective, they frame their questions. And then accordingly, they start or they develop the questionnaire, and through the questionnaire, they collect the data. So this is the thing which is happening in the actual research. So once you have collected the data, you have the data set and you have done the descriptive analysis on that data set. So some understanding you have got, this is the average value of this data set. This is the range. This is the, this data is towards right hand side, left hand side, how it look like. Or is there any outlier? Meaning, if outlier is there, it will disturb the whole answer, or your answer will not, you can say, portray the real picture. So that way we have to remove the outlier. So all these things once you have done, then you will come to know ki you will try to apply why, if anything is happening, why did it happen? Then the point comes in the form of what? Diagnostic analysis. So as you know, diagnostic analysis is basically deep diving. You are going to find out further, drilling down the information just to find out the root cause of the problem, or the outcome is coming why. So organizations, or you can say researcher in case of political or social sciences, they are going to apply this type of analytics to create, to develop the connections, association between the data and the pattern. If you are seeing ki yes, this kind of behavior is visible. People are buying medicines. You can say in during the COVID, they were buying the medicines which were used for, you can say, not to have the COVID. Precautionary tablet people were buying. So you can find out the why. Business applications, diagnostic applying, like one freight company, they are trying to find out the cause, why the shipment is slow, delay, that shipment is not arriving as per the, you can say, decided time period. So they are trying to find out the causes. SaaS company, they are drilling down, sorry, to determine which marketing activity increase the trials. So anything which you is basically giving problem, or somebody is trying to find out the causes of the problem, they apply the diagnostic analysis. You know, in operations, we talk about, you can say, cause and effect diagram, fishbone diagram. So with the help of which also people will easily able to find out how we are going to find which particular cause is creating the maximum problem. So there are different causes, sub causes, which comes in the, you can say, fishbone diagram. That is also another tool for finding out the root cause of the problem. Or sometimes some people are using 5 why analysis. So whenever the problem is there, they start asking the question, why this is there? If the leakage is there in the, you can say, lubrication pump. So they pose a question, why the leakage is there? The answer is coming, maybe there is a problem in the gasket. So next question, why there is a problem? What problem is there in the gasket? Then answer comes. On that answer, again one more why. So likewise, people are going to ask 5 times why, then they are going to answer how we are going to fix the problem. So these are the type of things which people are applying in the diagnostic analysis. Further, in continuation of the diagnostic analysis, ma'am, Karan Singh has raised his hand.
Okay, ma'am. I will. You will write your question in chat box. Ma'am will give the answer. Ms. Karan, you can write the question in the chat box. I will ask question from the ma'am. You will wait until the session is completed. After that, we have the question answer round also.
Ma'am, how much time I have?
I think, ma'am, 10 minutes. After that, we can take the question answer round also. No?
Oh my God, I have lot many things to discuss.
Yes, ma'am. I know this is a too long topic.
I know. Okay, so under the diagnostic, there are 2 or 3 things which we are doing as a statistician, as a researcher. First is data drilling. Second is data mining, and third one is the correlation analysis. So data drilling is nothing, but we are trying to drill the data in terms of getting the real picture, in terms of getting the root cause. So example I have written here, national sales data to determine whether specific region, customer, or retail channels are responsible for the increased sales growth or something else. So if you have the data, you will come to know customers are responsible as per the data or as per the figures. Retail channels, they are giving a lot of growth in the sales. So that one will come to know once you are going to deep down. Data mining is related to finding the pattern, discovering the pattern. So patterns, I hope everybody understand, pattern could be increasing, pattern could be decreasing, or pattern could be, you can say, cyclical. So with the help of the data set, people are going to develop the plots and charts. So with the help of those plot and chart, they come to know what type of pattern is visible. So, and based on that, they are going to develop the association. Like example I have quoted here, data mining is basically related in case of, suppose there is a rise in the insurance claim. So why the rise in insurance claims, basically it is happening. Data mining can be conducted manually or with the help of machine learning technology. So if you are basically, you might be aware of it, insurance claims are increasing because of one reason, one factor could be there are a lot of disease, people are finding a lot of, they are getting a lot of disease because of lot many reasons. Again, poor health, or you can say diet, nutrition, less nutritional value they are taking, less physical activity. So a lot of diseases, a lot of problems, and a lot of times they are contacting the doctors, and because of that, they are getting a treatment, and whenever they are getting the treatment, they go to the insurance companies for claims. This could be one reason. So they are trying to find out through the data mining techniques all sort of factors, and then they try to come out, this is the reason, this is the major cause. Another point is correlation analysis. In terms of the correlation analysis, they are trying to find out how factors are related to each other or is no relationship. If there is no relationship, why we put our hand on this particular cause or factors or variables? So they try to find out key, yes, like sales of the ice cream and refrigerated soda may increase or soar on the hot days. Everybody knows. So there is a relationship. Whenever the heat is there, whenever the temperature is there, the sales of all these items will automatically increase. So these are highly correlated. Degree of correlation is very, very high. Next is where companies are using or where a researcher, they can use the diagnostic analysis. One reason could be decline in the revenue or increase in the expenses. Another point is popularity of the product. Why one product is popular? Why people are going for iPhone? Why people are buying Samsung's phone? Why not other companies' phone? What is the reason of getting the popularity of one particular product or services? Why Netflix is popular? Why not this? So all these things are coming into the picture and people try to find out the root cause, why it is happening. So another reason is employee turnover. So in case of organization businesses, they are facing this problem. Many people are leaving the organization. There is a lot of layoff, you can say switch over. Retention is not there. So they try to find out the root cause. Or in case of production and distribution system, you will find companies are struggling. They have some target, but they could not fulfill those targets. So they try to find out the root cause. What are the bottlenecks? What are the constraints because of which things are not happening? So this could be one area where diagnostic analysis is very, very helpful and used. Next type of analysis, third type of analysis is predictive analysis, which is very much used when you want to forecast, predict what is likely to be going to happen in the future. So you have the descriptive analysis, past date, diagnostic analysis, cause analysis, root cause analysis. Then once you are done with this, then you will come to that, okay, what will be the future? Where I should focus or where a company should concentrate so that they will get more and more revenue, more and more profit, more and more wealth. So the predictive analysis is related to predicting the future outcomes. So in case of risk, the application, if you see the risk assessment, every company, every organization, every nation, they faces a lot of risk. Risk in terms of climate, risk in terms of losses of the, you can say customer, risk in terms of losses of increase in the interest rate and finding the resources for companies for funding investments. So there are a lot of risk. So one has to assess the risk. And while doing the risk assessment, people are going to apply the predictive analysis. Once they identify the risk, then only they try to manage those risks. Then they try to mitigate those risks. Then they try to transfer those risks. Then they try to avoid those risks. There are different techniques under the management part of the risk. So this is another application of the predictive analysis. Similarly, the sales forecasting. So in terms of the sales forecasting, demand forecasting, production forecasting, any forecasting, people are using predictive analysis. So what they do, past data, 10 months data, 5 years data, and they predict for the future based on the trend, based on the extrapolation. So they forecast. So they are trying to forecast. Why they try to forecast? Because for doing the planning, yes, these many things we are planning to sell, these many things we have to produce. So for producing, what is the thing which we have to procure? Raw material, items which are required to produce any XYZ item. So sales forecasting. Then predictive analysis is also used in terms of customer segmentation. Which leads have the best chance of converting? Every product is not a very good. We talk in terms of BCG product. There are star product, there are dog product, there are cow product, there are question mark product, 4 categories of products. So we try to find out where, which segment, which product is going to give the best lead, best chances of conversion. So they focus on that. This is basically done on the basis of predictive analysis. And finally, the predictive analysis is also used in the customer success. You know, why customer segmentation? Because as everybody knows, everything is moving around the customer. So if we can easily very well understand the customer, our business will grow. Automatically, we will get good profit. These are the predictive analysis technique, data mining. So data mining is nothing but finding out the hidden pattern. So your data, raw data could be structured, non-structured. So first of all, you have to, you can say transform that data in the form of proper form. Then only you can find out the pattern, you can find out the shape, you can find out the relationship, which is useful in terms of the data mining. Second tool which is used in predictive analysis is statistical modeling. So they develop the model depending upon the context, and then they try to anticipate, they try to come out with the future prediction for the future, for the outcomes. So for example, very good example, basically I have quoted here, you can see a business expert can build a cross selling. So in terms of the selling, you know, there is a cross selling, there is a upselling, right? So they try to find out the cross selling model using current customer data and predicting what other items they will likely to purchase from the same company. Once they come to know, they will you can say come out with those products, those services, and definitely the revenue generation will be there. So this is one use of statistical modeling. Another is machine learning. People might have heard about machine learning, but what is it all about? Machine learning, which is basically deploying iterative methods and techniques and then finding out the pattern. So everything is based on the past, pattern, then future. So there are different things which come under the machine learning methods. One is classification. So they classify the whole data set in terms of classes. Like one example, website visitor. He is a purchaser or simple browser. Classify. Or he is doing activity in what frequency? Monthly, yearly, what? So you will classify accordingly, you plan for the future. Then regression. As everybody knows, regression is nothing but it is very good technique to predict using in the prediction. So you can predict how much time customer will take to return to an airline reservation. This is an example of prediction or regression modeling. Then neural network, which is basically based on the biological inspiration process technique. So it is basically considering the brain related thing, neural network, image, patient diagnosis. So in case of cancer patient, in case of anything which is basically talking about, yes, this is the pattern, this is the image talking about, and what will be the prognosis or diagnosis of so and so patient. So this is possible through that neural network technique. Here again, they are applying machine learning. And finally, the decision tree. So in terms of the decision tree, they are trying to cross down, forming a tree, root, then further branches, and then coming out with the options, decisions. So it is basically here I am taking one example, airline might want to know the best time to fly to a new destinations, planning to service on a weekly basis. So they come to know key, this is the time, this is the destination where they should focus. Last is prescriptive analysis. So what is there in the prescriptive analysis, which is nothing but it is the frontier of the data analysis. So you have the descriptive, you have described the data. So after that, you have basically identified the root cause of the problem, and based on those two things, prediction has been done. Now, after that, you are going to prescribe the future course of action, future alternative, future ways to go ahead. What will be the roadmap? That is a part of prescriptive analysis. So people are using here many times artificial intelligence, right? So artificial intelligence is mostly used in terms of prescriptive analysis. How? They are taking large amount of data and then testing that data, training that data, and based on that, they are coming out with the outcome. Like example I have written here, big data driven companies like Apple, Facebook, Netflix, they have the lot voluminous data. And then based on that data, they are developing the algorithm, they are developing the, you can say, thinking, and then utilizing the prescriptive analysis to improve the decision making. How? Like they come to know ki, okay, this is the thing, this is the version they should come in the Apple iPhone. Right now, 13, 14 Pro that has come. What will be the future one? So they apply the prescriptive analysis in terms of analyzing the situation or the demand or the taste or the preferences of the customer. Then further, if you see, in terms of the prescriptive analysis, that is going to tell you the best course of action. It is used in case of risk assessment model or providing the pricing, premium information for the clients. Many times you might have seen prescriptive analysis is used in case of doctors, pharmaceutical companies. They identify best testing and patient cohort for the clinical trial. So you might have seen doctors, what doctors they are doing. So any patient having so and so problem, having so and so disease, they visit to the doctor. After that, doctor is asking, get this test done, just get this blood test, or you can say ultrasound or something they prescribe. Then patient is basically getting it done. So that is descriptive. Then based on those results, doctor is saying why you have fever, why you have stomach ache, or why you have any kidney stone, or what is the reason. So based on the test, they are going to come out with the causes. And then they are going to predict, suppose somebody is having cancer. Is it a first stage cancer, second stage cancer, third stage cancer, future thing they are going to predict. And then in the case of prescriptive analysis, they are going to prescribe, okay, you have first stage, these are the things which you will do, it will overcome. Second stage or third stage, so these are the things. Now, no more, it is not at all possible to cure, only you can subside. So these are the things which come across and which is basically happening by way of different type of analysis. I think, my dear student, you might have understood so far so good what I have covered. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
I think everybody is getting what I'm telling. Clear?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Everything. I think 2 or 3% participant want some questions. So
Okay,
I
I
will
am just, yes,
complete
I
it.
will give them time. Just
Yes,
wait.
ma'am. Yes.
I am going to finish it. So
Okay.
these are the different tools which people are using to analyze the data. You can analyze the data using spreadsheet. So a spreadsheet is nothing, but it is a part and parcel of the Excel only. So you can apply a lot of tools and techniques in which are there in the Excel itself. I'm sure many people are not well versed or not acquainted with the, you can say, the tools, techniques which are available in the Excel itself. You can do lot many things, like from analysis to the chart, and further in terms of the modeling itself. That is possible through the spreadsheet. Then different statistical packages like SPSS, like Statistica, like eViews, Minitab. So you can use those statistical packages to do the analysis. See, why anybody is talking about analysis, because until unless you will not do the analysis, we will not come out with the outcome. We will not come out with the conclusions and recommendations which are required in the research. Then there are certain qualitative tools which are used in the qualitative data analysis, like NVivo is one. So for doing SLR, meta-analysis tool, lot of tools are there which are talking about the qualitative thing. Then theme-based analysis. People are carrying out thematic analysis, categorization analysis, which are used in the qualitative category. And then quantitative based on the text also. So these are the different tools which are used in the quantitative and qualitative category. So at last, in summarization form, whatever I have discussed so far, it is nothing but I have discussed what is research, why anybody is going to initiate the research, what is the purpose. Then how, if we are doing the research, we have to do the analysis, how we can do the analysis, and it is totally depending upon the data. What type of data we have? We have qualitative data, we have quantitative data. Under qualitative, all we can do, which I have discussed through grounded theory, through distributed cognition and activity theory, or some frameworks also you can apply in case of qualitative. Under quantitative, you can apply many analysis, which I have discussed in the form of descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. So these are the different category or analysis, type of analysis, which one can do. Next, you can apply all these things, percentages, what is the percentage, what is the average, what is the percentile, what is the decile, what are the different interaction design you can develop with the help of all these things. Then you can easily apply the central tendency and you can say variability things you can easily identify. And finally, you are going to portray visualization. See, that is very, very important. Many people do the analysis, but they don't know how to visualize, how to portray the analysis thing in the real good picture form. So that is very, very important. And finally, how to conclude, how to do the interpretation of all the analysis which one has done. Very, very important. If you can't connect the dots, your research is incomplete. If you can't apply your analysis or findings in a particular format, like whether it is universally applicable or on a particular set of population it is applicable, so your research is incomplete. So all these things are there, very, very important, which one has to remember when they are doing the research. I think from my side, this is the thing which I want to discuss. Science is not belief, but the will to find out. So from my side, I am ending it here. Now, those who have any doubt, please feel free to ask a question through Renu ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. One participant, Parikshit, we want to ask about what is the relationship between the two variables. I will ask one by one. One person, Parikshit, ask this question.
What is the relationship between?
Two variables.
Relationship is basically
Between the variables. Two variables.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
what is the name of the participant who has asked this question so that I can answer? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. It is given in the chat box.
Okay. So, relationship is nothing, but it is talking about if a person is doing or studying hard, he will clear the competition. That is the relationship. If a person is not putting hard work, not very serious towards the study, he will not be clear the competition. This is the relationship. So these two things are highly, you can say degree of correlation, degree of relationship is high, right? And 0 degree of correlation, whatever you are doing, it is not going to impact the thing. That is 0 degree of correlation. Are you getting? If you are getting, your income is increasing, you will go for purchase. Your purchasing power will increase. You will go for shopping. That is high degree of correlation. Relationship is high. Any other question, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Karan wants to ask this system, how to describe in the management.
Which system?
Risk system. Risk system.
How to define?
How to describe in management.
Okay. So risk, suppose in management, suppose it is related to finance. So suppose a company, they are buying or purchasing some items or some raw material from China. So the risk is in terms of the currency fluctuation. So in terms of the China, if you are buying, or America, if you are buying something, importing some items, India is importing. So naturally, when the dollar is going to appreciate, there is a risk that amount. Suppose you are putting 10 lakh amount, when the dollar is going to appreciate, that 10 lakh will become what? 15 lakh. So the amount purchasing for the same quantity, you are going to put up or you are going to invest more. So there is a risk. So currency risk, fluctuation in the currency, that is one risk, right? If in any case during the COVID, suppose there was a total lockdown, borders were sealed, you cannot import the items, there is another risk. If you have single buyer, you are purchasing all the items from single person, there is a risk involved. So you should have multiple sourcing option. Lot of examples are there which are related to the risk. So
Okay, ma'am.
insurance companies, they are also covering the risk
Yes, correct.
through life insurance policies.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, one person, Yogender, wants to ask about the machine learning. Can learning can interpret a data out of human behavior? It is an disadvantage or not?
Yes, machine learning can interpret the data set of human behavior, right? So after interpretation, human intervention is involved. So whatever the analysis is coming through machine learning, one has to conclude in terms of the subjective manner, right? Only you cannot be going to rely the output which is coming from the machine learning. You have to associate that output with your level of understanding. Are you getting my point?
Yes, ma'am. Another doubt is there are the multiple data analysis methods. How shall we choose the best data analysis method?
See, data analysis or data analytical tool one has to choose as per the data availability. What type of data you have? What is your objective of research? So your objective is you are trying to find out the factors, or you are finding out the relationship between the factors. So go for correlation, go for association like ANOVA, analysis of variance, use those methods. Or if you are trying to find out the relationship in terms of what is the dependent variable, what are the independent variable, use regression. Or if you are trying to find out the relationship between what, there are different construct, we use SEM, structural equation modeling. So it is totally depending upon the objectives. One, second, the data type. Analytical tool is applied as per these two situations. What are your objective of research and what kind of data you have?
Okay, ma'am. I think it is over from participant side. Or one more question, I think is there.
Okay.
Let's see. How can we perform a diagnostic analysis?
Okay.
I
For
think you
diagnostic,
explained very. Yes.
yes, diagnostic analysis you can find out, you can do with the help of data drilling or data mining, or you can apply in terms of operations, we use a fishbone diagram, cause and effect diagram, or with the help of 5 by analysis. So we can do with the help of those tools what is the basic problem.
Yes, ma'am. One more question from Prakshit also. 1 minute. He want to ask how how to know if data model is performing well or not.
How to?
How to know if a data model is performing well or not.
Okay. So for that, there are certain metrics like we are calculating the precision and accuracy of our data modeling.
Yes.
We calculate the precision and accuracy. Confusion matrix is basically identified. Value of that confusion matrix will lead whether our data modeling is perfect or not. So there are different measurement, you can say, techniques.
Yes, ma'am. I
Somebody
think
is asking how we handle the missing or corrupted data. So for that, you have to remove the missing data. Suppose you have the data set of 10,000 points, and suppose 50 points where you are finding something is missing. So you remove those things, or if you don't want to remove, you replace those missing data by the average value. So you have to make that data in that particular shape so that your analysis will not give the wrong picture.
okay,
It will not lead to the wrong conclusion. So you have to, you can say data preparation, we call it data preparation, data cleaning, data preparation before we start doing the analysis. Ma'am, Chanchal is
okay,
asking
ma'am.
something.
Okay, Chanchal, what is the question? Where is Chanchal?
She has raised her hand, or Mohit, they are raising.
Mohit and Chanchal, if you have any doubt, just write in the chat box. Why you are raising your hand? Just tell us. Ma'am, I think by mistake they have raised their hands. So they are
Okay.
not writing anything. Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
thank you so much, ma'am. This was such an informative session, and we learned a lot about the research and statistical methods. Because main problem with the researcher, they don't know what is the research. They are doing the research, but they don't know what is the research. You are explaining each and everything, mean, median, mode, everything, which is very important for the research. Thank you very much, ma'am. Okay,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next session will be okay, ma'am. Next session will be start after 5 minutes. It's 11:30.